We must understand God's will, which is found in the law. And you can argue with me and say, well, no, it's not in the law. Well, actually, it's in, we have the New Testament. Well, the New Testament rests on the law. It rests on the Old Testament. And that, as a matter of fact, there was nothing said in the New Testament that came up on its own. It was all referenced from the Old Testament, to the point of which any and every point of what to do and what not to do can be referenced to an Old Testament scripture. And that's a fact.
Heavens come together, and I saw a deep pit with heavenly fire upon its pillars. I saw inside them descending pillars of fire that were immeasurable in respect to both altitude and depth. And on top of that pit I saw a place without the heavenly firmament above it, or earthly foundation under it, or water. There was nothing on it, not even birds, but it was a chaotic, desolate, and terrible place. And I saw something like an invisible cloud, and though I could see that it was completely dark, yet I could see the flame of its fire, because it was burning brightly. And there were some things like bright mountains which formed a ring around it, and were sweeping to and fro. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it, which were like great mountains, and burning with fire. And that moment I said, for which sin are they bound, and for what reason were they cast in here? Then one of the holy angels, Uriel, who was with me, guiding me, spoke to me and said to me, these are among the stars of heaven that have transgressed the commandments of the Lord, and are bound in this place until the completion of 10 million, according to the number of their sins. I then proceeded from that place to another place, which is even more terrible, and I saw a terrible thing, a great fire that was burning and flaming. The place had a cleavage that extended to the last sea, pouring out great pillars of fire. Neither its extent nor its magnitude could I see, nor was I able to estimate. Then I said, what a terrible opening is this place, and a pain to look at. Then I asked one of the holy angels who was with me, saying to him, what is this bright thing? For it is not a heaven, but merely the flame of the fire which is burning, and a voice of weeping, crying, and lamenting, as well as strong pain. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, responded and said to me, Enoch, why are you afraid like this? I answered and said, I am frightened because of this terrible place, and the spectacle of this painful thing. Then the angel said to me, this place which you see is the ultimate end of heaven and earth. It is the prison house of the angels, the stars, and the powers of heaven. They are detained here forever. Into it shall be taken the spirits of sinners, blasphemers, those who do evil, and those who alter all the things which the Lord has done through the mouth of the prophets, all of which have to be fulfilled. And the stars which roll over upon the fire, they are the ones which have transgressed the commandments of God from the beginning of their rising, because they did not arrive punctually. And he was wroth with them, and bound them until the time of the completion of their sin, in the year of history.
As because what I saw was the greatest thing I've ever witnessed since I've been alive. The globe was kind of out here like this, and I was able to see very clearly many cemeteries and graveyards. Then I was brought very close to many of these graveyards, and what I saw was a very unusual thing to me, was that the ground was breaking open. Literally, the dirt was breaking open kind of violently, and people were coming out of the grave. Kind of not just random, but kind of a categorized launching, so to speak, of these people out of the dirt. Again, it was very violent. It was almost as though the dirt was receiving a small explosion or something and breaking open. And I literally saw dirt flying, and I saw this all over the globe. When people would begin to come out, their appearance, two things about their appearance first astounded me. The first thing was that the clothes they were wearing seemed to be like a choir robe, but in the middle of the day, it was like those outfits that entertainers wear when they're under the lights, and the lights key in on them, and the sequins kind of make the light just shoot off and they glimmer. These people came out in the middle of the day, glimmering. Their outfits and their person was brighter than the sun. I wish I could explain that to you, other than I could see the brightness of these people coming out. As a Catholic, the second coming of Christ was not even a dogma of our church. We didn't practice the belief in a second literal coming of Jesus Christ. And so this all was very foreign to me. And as soon as these people disappeared, for a lack of words, wherever they went, mass hysteria began to hit the earth. People had the appearance of absolute despair, hysteria. There was pandemonium everywhere. There was mass chaos, lawlessness, and fear was working everywhere. I was able again to see in many quadrants of the earth, and there wasn't any one nation that was under this. All of the globe was experiencing this.
And he showed me a river of water of life, clear as crystal, coming from the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb. In the middle of its street, and on either side of the river, was a tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And no longer shall there be any curse, and the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be upon their foreheads. And night shall be no more, and they shall have no need of a lamp or the light of the sun, because Yahweh Elohim shall give them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. And he said to me, these words are trustworthy and true. And Yahweh Elohim of the set-apart prophets has sent his messenger to show his servants what has to take place with speed. See, I am coming speedily. Blessed is he who guards the words of the prophecy of this book. And I, Yochanan, saw and heard these matters. And when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship before the feet of the messenger who showed me these matters. And he said to me, see not, for I am your fellow servant, and of your brothers the prophets, and of those who are guarding the words of this book. Worship Elohim. And he said to me, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, because the time is near. He who does wrong, let him do more wrong. He who is filthy, let him be more filthy. He who is righteous, let him be more righteous. He who is set apart, let him be more set apart. And see, I am coming speedily, and my reward is with me, to give to each according to his work. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are those doing his commands, so that the authority shall be theirs unto the tree of life, and to enter through the gates into the city. But outside are the dogs, and those who enchant with drugs, and those who whore, and the murderers, and the idolaters, and all who love and do falsehood. I, Yeshua, have sent my messenger to witness to you these matters in the assemblies. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. And the Spirit and the bride say, come. And he who hears, let him say,